The South American leg of the Eras Tour has come to an end, so it's time for us to do another surprise song set tier list. We will be using the same tier list that we used for the US leg, and if you haven't checked out those videos yet, you can watch them here. Being at any of these shows, I think, would have been amazing regardless of the surprise songs, but it's normal that we all gravitate more towards some songs and some eras, so this is just a bit of fun, and I would love for you guys to play along with me. So let's just get right into it, starting off with Mexico. August 24th, night 1, she played I Forgot That You Existed and Sweet Nothing. For this set, I'm gonna go with Wherever You Stray, I Follow. Because even though I really love Sweet Nothing, I Forgot That You Existed is like the type of song that I forgot that it existed. Truly, I never really listened to the song at all, so even though I do love Sweet Nothing, I don't think this set is one of the top ones. Moving on to night 4, she played Tell Me Why and Snow on the Beach. And for this one, we're actually gonna go with For Some It Was Paradise. I'm sure a lot of people would have really loved this set, but for me personally, like I think I've spoke about this before, Snow on the Beach is really not one of my favorite songs on midnights. And I'm not a huge debut or Fearless girly, so I think that just adds to that. As I said, we each gravitate to different eras, and for me, those are just not my favorite ones. Moving on to night 3, we have Cornelia Street and You're on Your Own, Kid. My first thought was to put this on Holy Ground. I absolutely love Cornelia Street, and I think I would have died having heard that live. But at the same time, in my previous video, I did rank the combination of Death by a Thousand Cuts and You're on Your Own, Kid as top tier, so we're gonna go with top tier again. Can you imagine Cornelia Street and Death by a Thousand Cuts as the set? That would have also been amazing. But moving on to the final night in Mexico, we had Afterglow and Maroon. And here we're gonna go with Holy Ground. I just feel like you cannot go wrong with either of these songs. It was also really exciting to hear her play Afterglow for the first time. Overall, I think Mexico got some pretty good surprise songs, especially those last 2 nights. Now let's move on to the Argentina nights. Starting with night 1, where she played The Very First Time and Labyrinth. And this is gonna go again on Holy Ground. I love the combination of just like a really more fun upbeat song like The Very First Night, and then just something more heartbreaking like Labyrinth. I really think this would have been an amazing set. The only reason I'm not putting it at the top tier is just because neither of these songs are like one of my favorite songs, but I feel like this is really also a winning set. We get to night 2 in Buenos Aires, where she played Is It Over Now, mashed up with Out of the Woods and Endgame. Like, now this night, can you guess where I'm gonna rank this? I mean, I think everybody's gonna be getting over this their whole lives. I think it's crazy that she mashed up Is It Over Now with Out of the Woods, because this was something that everybody was kind of doing on TikTok, and I don't think anybody was expecting her to play it live like that, but it fits so well into the song, and it was just such a good performance, but also I think just the energy of being there when it was happening was doing crazy. And I do like Endgame. It's, again, not one of my favorite songs, but I'm still putting this at the top tier. I don't know. It was just perfection. Then we moved to night 3 of Argentina, and I think she proved that she had a favorite country because she sang Better Than Revenge and Slut. And here we're gonna go with Holy Ground. I was also kind of debating if this should be a top tier. Better Than Revenge is just such an iconic song, and I think being in that crowd must have been just really fun, having like half singing the old lyrics, half singing the new one. Some really amazing sets for Argentina. And now we are moving on to Brazil. And the first night she played Stay Beautiful and Suburban Legends. And straight off the bat for me, this is gonna go in For Some It Was Paradise. I'm not a huge debut girly, as I said, so there's not much that I can say about it. And Suburban Legends was probably my least favorite like vault track from 1989 TV. So do you guys say Taylor's version in your head, or do you say TV? Because I often say TV and I'm like, is that gonna be confusing? Moving on to night 2 in Brazil. Now this was a really sad night and probably a very hard night to perform at. Very sadly, a fan passed away the day before. And of course, thoughts and prayers to her friends and family, anybody who knew her. But I know she chose not to address it during that day's performance, but I think she kind of did via the surprise songs and just the delivery of those songs. She played Dancing with Our Hands Tied and Bigger Than the Whole Sky, and the delivery was just beautiful. For me personally, I would put this set in Holy Ground. On night 3 in Brazil, she played the highly anticipated Me. Everybody was making jokes about Me, and people really hate on this song, but to be honest, I like it. The Lover album was kind of one that really drew me more into Taylor, and it's not my favorite song, and it probably wouldn't have been my top choice of a song to hear, but I still find it very fun. I also love Panic at the Disco, so the song with Brendan Urie is obviously going to be a hit for me. So I'm actually going to put this set in a holy ground because we get a little bit of Lover, we get a little bit of Reputation, and it's songs that I like, so you can't go wrong. Then we have the fourth night in Brazil, first night in Sao Paulo, where she sang Now That We Don't Talk and Innocent. For me, I think this is gonna go in Wonderland. Now That We Don't Talk is super fun, but Innocent is, again, not one of my favorite tracks, so I just wouldn't rank this any higher. Then we get to the fifth night in Brazil, second night in Sao Paulo. And here I think is where most people will disagree with me because I know that these songs are really fan favorites, especially Safe and Sound. But for me, this will go Wherever You Stray, I Follow. I do love Untouchable. I think what she did to that song, a lot of people maybe don't know that it's a cover. She didn't write it originally. And if you hear the original one, it's completely different. So what she did to that song is just crazy. I think even the original songwriters gave her songwriting credit or something like that because they thought her version was so that she did her own thing to it. And now we arrived in the final night in Brazil where she performed Say Don't Go and It's Time to Go. For the final night, I'm also gonna go with Wherever You Stray, I Follow. Say Don't Go is a really fun song because it's like heartbreaking in lyrics but really fun and upbeat in its like melody and music. But again, the combination just isn't up there for me. All in all, I think Argentina had the better sets, and then Mexico, and then Brazil. What do you guys think about that? Taylor also announced that she will be resetting the songs for the rest of the tour, so that is so exciting because that means all songs are possible coming up, and I'm just excited to see what other combinations we're gonna get and what songs she was gonna play at my show in Amsterdam. Now, out of the whole US tour and the South American tour, I've come up with like my top 5 leaderboard. Starting at number 5, we have Dress and Exile. I just feel like singing Exile with the crowd. Oh my god, must have been just crazy, and I would love for that to be one of the surprise songs at my show. Then at number 4, I put Dear John and Daylight again. I think I just like when there's this combination of happy and sad songs. So here, Dear John is obviously really heartbreaking, and then Daylight is a really beautiful love song. At number 3, I put Forever and Always and This Love. In second place, we have, of course, Is It Over Now with Out of the Woods, In the Bridge, and Endgame. And for my number 1 night, I'm putting I Know Places and King of My Heart. I don't know that this will change because for me, I think that would have been maybe one of my like dream surprise sets. I think if I had those 2 songs, I would have been knocked out after that. But I'm really curious to hear what you guys' favorite sets have been. Let me know below. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!